back! This is Lo-Fi Thrasher Lenny Blade, and this is the Retro Hunter Thailand show. Yes, it is time for a pickup video. I haven't done a pickup video in quite some time, so I decided it was time. So this will be my pickups from maybe March and so on. Some of these things are even older, but I didn't make a video about them. And some of the games, some of the things that I picked up in Sweden and in Denmark and over here in Thailand. And I picked up a lot of records, a lot of metal records in Sweden and Denmark, but I'm not going to show them here because there are just too many. The video would be an hour long, so I'm not going to bore you with that right now. I might do a separate video later, but for now I'm going to start with the movies I've picked up lately. So I'm going to start with the DVDs. These ones I picked up in Denmark, and that's The Mist. And I really liked this one. I've seen it already. Stephen King. I think the effects and so on could maybe have been a little bit better, and it has a little bit of a budget feel to it, but I kind of liked it. It also comes with a black and white version of it. Why? Don't know. I also found this one pretty cheap. Terminator 2 T2, with the metal case. So this one I also picked up. It was really cheap. It's nothing fancy. It's just like inside it's just a regular DVD inside this tin case. But it is a good movie, and I don't have it on DVD. Well, I do now, but I didn't have it, so I decided to pick it up because it was cheap. I don't think it's as good as... I think the first one is better, I have to say, even though I do love T2. I also picked up Der Untergang, Hitler's Fall. It's also in a tin case, and it comes with bonus materials. So that's good. I also picked up the complete series of Sopranos, and it comes in this really neat slipcase with and it comes like that with all of the DVDs in here. It also came with a bonus disc with bonus material, things like that, and the booklet that comes with it explains sort of the story in each episode, and it's a really nice package. Also, I got it very, very cheap. 70 Danish kroner. You do the math. I don't know. And then on Facebook Marketplace in Thailand, I picked up the complete collection of the Merlin series. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Oh, that's for kids. Maybe, but the box was so cool, and I haven't seen this at all. I haven't seen a single episode of it yet. So I have no idea. It was 250 baht for the whole set. So, or 240, I think, because I paid 290 with shipping. So it's, you can't really go wrong for that price. And then I also decided to crawl to my cross and accept that I should really start watching Game of Thrones. I know it sounds weird, but I haven't seen a single episode of Game of Thrones. Simply because, and everyone has told me how great it is. It has everything you like. It has fantasy battles, intrigue, dragons, boobies, everything that I like, right? So, but I finally decided to pick up the complete series, and I got this from Facebook Marketplace here in Thailand. 1,700 for everything, including shipping, and season 8 is even still sealed. So that was a good deal, I thought. I also got some VHS because here at the Retro Hunter Thailand show, I like my VHSs. So I will start with a few here. Kurt Russell, Escape from LA. Not as good as Escape from New York, but I actually think it's pretty good. Black Rain, which is one of my favorite 80s action movies. I really like it. It's really cheesy and kind of predictable if you like 80s action movies, but it's got everything. Right? A lot of cool action scenes and everything. Picked up Sniper and Virus, which I have not seen before, with Jamie Lee Curtis and one of the Baldwins, William Baldwin. And this seems to be some sort of semi-sci-fi, sort of futuristic thing, so that could be cool. Speaking of futuristic things, I also picked up Sphere. I haven't seen this one either. This is with Samuel L. Jackson and who else is in it? Sharon Stone and Hoffman. This seems to be a sci-fi as well, and I haven't seen it. I know nothing about it, and I'm not going to look anything up on IMDb before I see it. I just want to... And this one doesn't have a tape in it, because I prepared to watch it tonight. I also picked up an old Charles Bronson classic, Hard Times. Unfortunately, this happened to be the Thai version, which she didn't state in the ad. I picked all of these up from Facebook Marketplace here in Thailand, of course. She didn't mention all the others were Thai subtitles, so I actually think that this was a genuine mistake. She actually thought that this was the original soundtrack. And then Lock Up by Stallone. Not my favorite Stallone movie, but I can't remember much of it. I know I've seen it, but can barely remember it. And I got another bag here. Tango and Cash. Yes, Tango and Cash. But it was moldy. So, but I ordered all of this from the same seller, and I only got one moldy tape. So, you know, not too bad, all things considered. Picked up The Matrix. Again, I'm not one of those like who live and die by The Matrix. I do think it's a good movie, but I leave all the philosophies and that kind of overthinking to other people. House on the Haunted Hill. This is the new version. Not as good as the not as good as the bad version. Not as good as the old version. But I can't remember seeing this. I probably have, but don't expect too much. Cobra. This might be my favorite 80s action movie, if not at least in my top 5 of the 80s, and it's just an amazing movie, and I'm happy I found it on a Thai cassette. It has the English audio though. Event Horizon, which is a really cool movie, I think. Those of you who know. And Austin Powers, yeah, I know. I think it's kind of funny though, when you're in the right mood. Space Jam, because why not? Young Guns. Bulletproof. And The Craft. You know, I have a weak spot for these sort of like high school satanic witches kind of thrillers. And this also has Neve Campbell in it. And I had a crush on Neve Campbell when I was way too old to have a crush on a movie star. But yeah, so looking forward to watching these videos. And because this is the my show here, the Retro Hunter Thailand show, I'm not going to cut anything, so I'm just going to do a very professional push everything aside and get into the books that I got. So I'm just going to push this aside here, and damn, it's a lot of stuff, and get my books over here. So the first one I want to talk about is I got last Friday, and that's Sanctuary. and I got it from my friend Kirk, who is a friend of the show, as you may know. And it's basically like a medieval sort of fantasy thieves adventure, I presume. I haven't read it before, so he said I would really like it. And I do play a rogue in his Pathfinder campaign, so I'm sure I'll look into that. I also got a hold of Lord of the Rings role-playing, also gifted to me by Kirk, because I run Middle-earth for our group. Currently we're using the Adventures in Middle-earth from Cubicle 7, that rule set, but this one looks pretty good too. It also uses 5e as a base, so we'll see about that. I will do a video on that in the future. I also got the Dungeon Master's screen there, and yeah, that came with the Rivendell guide as well. I also got the first hardback module, which is the Shire Adventures. So it looks good. You know, I haven't been able to read it. I haven't had time to really get into it, but so far it looks good. I don't know if it will replace Adventures in Middle-earth or not, but even if it doesn't, I can still use some of this stuff in my Adventures in Middle-earth campaign. I also picked up this one. I already did a video with Kirk about this one, and it is a, yeah, what it says, it's a mini dungeon tome. Lots of dungeons to use for your fantasy role-playing game, and we already did a review of that, so you can check that out if you want to know more. And I also got this monster of a book. This is Crown of the Oathbreaker, and this is a 900 and some pages, 913 pages of this campaign. It's written for 5e, but you can use, you can of course probably convert it into whatever you want to use. So, or it might not even be, I mean, I've had, you know, I haven't had time to read it, obviously. It's this huge, it's like, it weighs, I don't know how much, but a lot. So, those were my pickups for the last couple of months. I have a few other things I picked up as well. I also picked up, when I was in Sweden, I picked up the West End Games Star Warriors game, which was released as sort of a companion to the D6 West End Games role-playing game, the Star Wars role-playing game. And when there would be space combat, you would switch and you would use this system to resolve those. I don't think it ever worked like that. I don't think it was very popular, but I'm always interested in that kind of stuff, so I picked it up. I also picked up Renegade Legions, the first one, Interceptor. So some space battle games. Unfortunately, they're still in Sweden because I had a little bag mishap, let's call it. I forgot to book my big bags to go back, so I had to leave a lot of vinyl records and some board games behind in Sweden at a friend's house. So anyways, no one asked. So, alright, that's it. See you next time.